What's up, guys? It's been a while. I've been remiss because I have not done a Walkin' with Brandon. Somebody chastised me about this via email recently, so I thought I'd help y'all out of the kindness of my heart. So, I thought it might be interesting for me to talk to you about what I see as a consultant, because I've done 2,700 business diagnostics with painting contractors, which is over a calendar year of work just on the phone in the same process, diagnosing the problems of painting contractors, right? Marketing, sales, operations, hiring, margins, all the macro metrics, lots of little picayune details that most people wouldn't care about because they don't even know they're even important. And so if you had amassed that kind of experience in this industry, what would you have learned from it? Or, put another way, in this video, what do you look for as a coach or a consultant to think, hey, this person's got a shot of making a lot of money and being really successful? I can see it. So I'm going to talk to you about some of those attributes, at least as far as I've discovered. So, the first one is that they have to love reality. Okay? This is a tough one for a lot of people. When you give somebody a little bit of bad news, and they go, well, you know what? You're probably right. No, our margins aren't very good. Yeah, I'm just emailing in a PDF sales system. No, I never talk to my clients. That's probably a problem. Like, you can hear them start facing the music. And it works the same way for both those that are uber successful and those that are really in struggles film. Because that same mentality of hating what the metrics say, discovering you've got a weakness, if that's unpalatable to the individual, they can't even recognize there's a problem because they've got this coping mechanism that keeps them from being able to face their biggest problems, right? It's a procrastination-inducing mechanism. It leads to failure. I've seen it over and over again. I can tell it almost in the cadence and the sound of somebody's voice after doing it as long as I have. Here's the second one. So if they're like, okay, I got to fix this stuff. I admit, something needs to be fixed here. This sounds like a reasonable methodology. All this sounds rational and logical. Most of this is very basic, but I'm not doing it. I'll go do the stuff, okay? Facing reality. What's the second piece of the puzzle? You're not going to like this. Second piece of the puzzle is time management. A man or a woman who can't set aside 4 to 8 hours a week to work on their painting business is doomed. Doomed forever. There is nothing that can be done if you can't manage your time, which just perplexes me. And there are a couple of problems. The first is, most people have never taken a time management course, read a book on it, given it any thought, and they think they would be good at it if they've never done any of that. The second thing is, being a painter, which is primarily where most painting contractors come from, your job is to show up, work on a project until it's done, and you do that hundreds of times as a painter. That's not the same type of work that an owner does mentally. Like, there's a huge variety of things you can do. It's not just about painting the house. I mean, could you be working on marketing? Could you be working on sales? And people think that the skills are the same, and they've never tried to get a resource for it. So that means they just lack the skill. But the second thing is that they let their customers and their painters run their life. Well, I can't. My business is running me, which basically means I don't have any business systems in place. I may have hired the wrong people. Even if they're the right people, I'll get bad performance with bad systems. And I don't know, it's like they're caught like a deer in headlights. Like, they can't get out of that trap of letting other people really run their calendar worse than if they'd worked in corporate America, right? A lot of guys that aren't making any money, or I'm not kidding you, working 16 hours a day somehow, running 6 painters, which would take me like 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 6 painters, will you work like 2 hours a day? If you do it right. And here's a third one. They'll push past procrastination to get things done. In your painting business, you're going to have all kinds of stuff you don't want to work on, don't want to tackle, don't want to do, don't want to think about, don't want to learn about. I get it. It's inconvenient. It's aggravating. When you're trying to do something new, it's stressful. But typically, whatever is the most stressful thing on your plate, the thing you most don't want to do, is where all the money is buried. And that's why you've got to do those kinds of things. All right, guys, there's me pontificating about what I look for when I consult somebody and I think I see great things are on the horizon. And I've seen them, man. I've seen people go from $300,000 to $3 million, from losing $300,000 to making $1.2 million a year, everything in between. And it had nothing to do with their market. It had nothing to do with their really almost even innate skills or talents. It had very little to do with their upbringing or situation or ethnicity or age. It had everything to do with those like 3 characteristics. The mindset, man. How's this stuff going to really work? Like, do you have a mindset that attracts wealth or repels it? So, guys, think on that. I'm getting all metaphorical here. What do you know? More than just the tactical expression of how to get something done, which sometimes isn't what everybody wants. Guys, you be good. I'll holler at you next time. Brandon Lewis here, signing off.